What's up, Mortgage Coach community? It is early in the morning here on the East Coast, or I'm on the West Coast. It's 7:15, and I've got Alex Cook. What's up, Alex?
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. What market are you in, if you could remind everybody?
I'm in the great Midwest, Northwest Indiana, Southeast Michigan area called Michiana. So right by the Michigan line.
Michiana, I like that. Well, guys, I've interviewed Alex a few times now. He was one of the top 10 interviews of 2020 as a new loan officer that absolutely killed it. Had a month where he did I think it was over 20 loans, your 6 months in the business. And check out that interview, especially if you're a new loan officer. But he told a story last time I interviewed called the single mom refi. And I wanted to just dedicate a conversation just to the magic, where he helped a family with the total cost analysis, single mom. So Alex, let's tell that story. And then let's also show how you use the new Debt Consol superpowers in Mortgage Coach to upgrade that story. Let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me share screen here. So
you can share the screen, but tell the story, even though you've told it before. Some people are just hearing this for the first time.
Okay. So this was actually extra special to me because, it's always special helping people save money, but this one was extra special because I hadn't talked to this girl since high school. And we probably were friends on Facebook for a long time, but she reached out and just wanted extra $5,000 and a better interest rate. She was on a pretty bad interest rate as well, but she wanted to do a cash out refi and just wanted, I think it was $5,000, $6,000 to finish some siding on her house. So after I imported her liabilities and started looking through it, I was like, wow, there's a lot of credit card debt here and some other things that we could wrap up. So as I started talking to her about her interest rates and figuring out what those were on the cards, I realized that this was going to be much more than just, redoing siding on a house. So if you want, I can jump into it.
Yeah. Walk us through it. And guys, you'll notice some features that you may not have seen before. They are in Mortgage Coach now. So if you are a premium user of our advice engine, the features that he's going to show are active in the product today.
Yeah, and honestly, the debt consolidation tool has been a game changer. So on this first one here, you can see that she was at 4.375, and that was just her mortgage interest rate, and of course, much higher debt on credit cards and even automobile. So what we did was, if you look down here, I took a look at this vehicle and also 2 credit cards and then the mortgage. And when we looked at the interest rates of all those, she had one card was almost 20%, one was 13%, and the vehicle wasn't too bad, but she just wanted to get that payment wiped off. She was at about 20 years, 19 and a half years left on her mortgage. And one of her biggest things was that I couldn't get her to kind of understand was that she really wanted to have no mortgage payment and didn't mind having all that debt that was kind of eating her alive. And, just had the dream of having a house paid off early. So she did not like the idea of going back to a 30 necessarily and adding more debt, which obviously the loan amount increased because we're consolidating debt. So Mortgage Coach, I feel like, honestly, Dave, I probably could not have talked her into what ended up being a life-changing decision without Mortgage Coach, because after I put it all in the presentation and I showed it to her, she's actually going to save cash flow-wise $1,000 a month. And this is a single mom who is, making decent money, but she's grinding to get by. And she told me that in the conversation when she nearly was in tears by the end of it. But the one thing with this that she objected to was she's going back to 30 years. And like I said, her dream was to, have the house paid off in a more reasonable time. So I said, all right, what about this option where we do the same thing, but we do a principal reduction of $500? So we're paying an extra $500 towards each mortgage payment, and she's still pocketing an extra $500. So, I'm just asking her to put half of it back in. That knocks it down to 11 and a half years. So she saves $500 a month cash flow wise, which helps out with, all the stuff she's got going on with her kids and sporting events and all these needs that she has. And she's also dropping 8 years off of her original loan, which is just incredible. But because the debt consolidation feature and the reinvestment strategy, I really wanted to show her that as well, because she didn't have any plans for retirement. So on this last option here, we have her throwing in principal reduction of 200 and then 500 towards investment. And we were really conservative. I did 5% return on her investment. So I didn't want to, just kind of make up like, oh, let's put it at 10%, really show you what's going to happen. So this is very conservative on the investment side. And she still gets what she wants right here. She's knocking 1.5 years off her original loan. She's pocketing an extra $300 a month. And this is the big part. This is what really blew her away. For a single mom that doesn't know if she's ever going to, have a retirement fund, she increased her net worth by about $140,000. And at the end of the day, all she does is e-sign some paperwork and gets an extra $300 a month in her pocket. Oh yeah, and by the way, she still got the $5,000 cash out for the siding that she was looking for. So she was in tears by the end of it. And I was so amped and feeling like, like a mortgage pro that I had to share the story. And it was just one of those days where I was like, this is why I do this job,
Yeah, well, there are a lot of families, guys, out there that just want you to help visualize different choices they can make. Emphasize, we're not in the business of selling debt consolidation loans. We're in the business of helping families make good decisions based off some assumptions and based off some plans. So clearly she needs to take either the $500 or the $200 and pay the mortgage every month to achieve these goals. For the third option, she needs to make sure she invests that money and doesn't lose it. Always get the asset accumulation rate from the family. I see often it's between 6 and 8%, but whatever the number is, get it from the family. Make sure it's their assumption or get it from their financial planner to help them make the most informed decision. So first of all, bro, love this. Everybody, I want you to see it again. If you could click on the debt consol feature of either the option 2, one of those. I just want to remind everybody, this is in Mortgage Coach Today. So it breaks down the liabilities, mortgage, credit card, student loans, credit card or auto loan. It allows you to look at it short-term and long-term. And for this family, you put short-term as 60 months, long-term as 180. You could have done 36 months in 7 years. You could have made the long-term a different period. So you can toggle between those. And this is for the family. Literally, I think just this analysis is a service that a lot of families would pay money for just because we've packaged it so well. So great job, Mortgage Coach team. So the other part of this story that I want to make sure we tell is how you took this, awesome win for this family and for the single mom, and then you turned it into social media content, and then how you've turned it into leads. So why don't you tell us that story real quick?
Yeah, so I wasn't really expecting that, to be honest with you. I literally just took out my phone right after I hung up with her. And she, like I said, she was just like, Alex, you have no idea. This changes my life, and kind of told me how much it's going to impact her and how excited she was. So I just took out my phone and I just had to make a video about it. It was so exciting, and had no idea that it was, going to have so many views and that it was going to, lead to so many leads. And I don't know if it's because of the single mom refi title is catchy or what it is, or I think the power of a testimony too. People just love to hear anybody doing well, and this changed her life, like she said. So I just shot the video real quick in my office after I hung up the phone, and it's done really well for us.
What's really well? How many loans do you estimate that you've generated from this video?
Yeah, so you asked me that last time, and I wish I had a more accurate way of counting it, but it's got to be, people refer to it at least a couple times a month, but I don't know how many are just seeing, it's almost like, how do you measure how many people came to you because of a billboard? Maybe it's just they're seeing the video, but they don't mention it to me. So I don't know how to calculate it, but I've had at least, it seems like a couple people a month. Hey, I need to, do some debt consolidation. I saw your video. How do I do it?
Love it. Last time, I think you said, every time I boost it for $100, I think I'm getting at least 2 loans directly related. And then, how many actual loans are being influenced by it? You don't know.
Yeah.
But does that seem about right?
Yeah, I think that was I think that was a little conservative, but I don't want to exaggerate, I would say at least 2 every time that I boost it. So it could be a lot more than that, 3, 4. That's on the conservative side.
All right, cool. Well, let's make sure we give a shout out to Bill Hillstad, who taught you how to do Facebook advertising, and his membership program. It is social-simple.com. Check it out. That is where you got training to learn how to do Facebook advertising or improve how you were doing Facebook advertising.
Everything that I know is from Bill, pretty much. Yeah, and I don't know 1/100th of what he knows, but I'm trying to absorb as much as I can. He's so good.
Yeah, no, he is a gift to the community, but I love this, guys. So go ahead and stop sharing the screen.
Yeah.
I wanted to get this story out there because I think this is one of those stories where every mortgage coach professional that has a total cost analysis, you should be looking for families where you can visualize their liabilities, help them make a better decision, and then turn that into social media content that generates leads. And I would just say, if you don't have a debt consult story on social media, you should. And I don't know if you should be promoting it monthly, every other month, but also just remember, when you have a great story, don't just promote it one time. Like, they can be the gift that keeps giving. Any closing thoughts, Alex, before we wrap it up, or any last advice for the mortgage coach community?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would like to kind of say, reiterate what you just said was, I never thought about rerunning the same video again. Bill kind of told me that idea, and it kind of came out of necessity just because I was going through a stretch of time where I don't just make videos for the sake of making videos. I don't know. I just have to be feeling something, kind of inspired to make one. But that was during a period of time where I wasn't making any fresh content. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to boost this old one for $100 and see what happens. And that really blew me away, that what's, maybe old to us or not as exciting because it's in the past is new to somebody else. There's always new viewers that can watch the same thing. And that was exciting. And so since then, I probably have boosted it about once a month. I boost it for 30 days for $50, $100. And it's just pretty cool to use, old content and to be able to boost it again. And it's all new, to somebody else.
Well, I got interviewed a few weeks ago, and one of the questions was, if you got parachuted into a city and you didn't know anybody, what would you do? And first of all, I said I would, well, it's COVID, so we can't eat alone. We have to eat alone more often than not. But I'm like, I'd be having lots of coffee meetings, and hopefully it would be past, we'd be outside of this COVID period. But I would be using Mortgage Coach. I'd be creating stories, and then I would be promoting them in super intelligent ways, advertising on Facebook. And I would, within a year, be the most well-known, most well-respected mortgage professional in the market, or one of the most well-known, well-respected. And I really think with that strategy of Mortgage Coach, stories, strategies, advice, social media, advertising, you can, again, first year in the mortgage business, become pretty well-known and pretty well-respected. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And like I said before, I tried to explain to her over the phone how this was going to be good for her. And all she could think about was not adding more debt to her mortgage, and I get that, but thank goodness I had a visual aid to explain it to her, because after, a lot of people are visual learners. After she saw it right there, it was just like the decision was made for her. Like, this is going to be so good for my family.
So were you over the phone and you had sent her the link, and then you were doing the live feature where whatever you were clicking on was moving, or was she in person?
Yeah. So it was over the phone. And I had tried to talk to her early in the day about, just opening her mind to taking a little bit more money out than, just to change up the siding, because of the, I call it the credit card, interest monster was eating her alive. And she just couldn't, she had just been so used to paying those monthly bills, and to add an extra, I think it ended up being 25 to 30,000 onto her mortgage was scary for her, because, so many people are just trying to pay off the mortgage without thinking about, the actual debt ramifications of it. So that's when I was like, all right, you know what, let me get back to you later this afternoon. I'm going to put together a presentation for you. And then when we did it the second time, I had her on speakerphone, and she was looking at the presentation as I was clicking on it. And she was like, okay, yeah, this makes sense now. So thank goodness we have a visual aid like that you've made available to all of us, because I don't know if I could have got the deal done for her. And obviously it was a good decision for her. I just had to have a way to explain it to her.
Well, Dude, you are a gift to the Mortgage Coach community. Thanks for taking time to jump on Zoom with me and broadcast this live in our Facebook group. If you don't mind sharing the actual link
Yeah.
to your debt consolidation analysis and put that down below in comments. And
Yep.
if you are watching this and you have a good debt consol story powered by our total cost analysis and our upgraded features, let me know. Either post it in our group or share it in a comment. But we're looking for great stories where our new superpowers and new debt consol is helping families. So share some stories, guys. Alex, it's always good to catch up with you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Give me a little. All right. Take care, brother.
Yeah. Have a great rest of the week.
You too.